The global balance of power is shifting, and the world is witnessing a profound transformation in the international order. At the heart of this change is BRICS, a coalition that has rapidly evolved from a loose economic grouping into a formidable geopolitical force. Once just an acronym coined by economists, BRICS now commands the attention of policymakers and analysts across Europe and beyond, as its influence grows with every summit. The bloc's recent expansion, welcoming Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Indonesia, signals its ambition to become a truly global alliance, representing diverse regions and interests. This enlarged BRICS Plus coalition stands as a direct challenge to the Western-led order, offering an alternative vision for global governance and economic cooperation. With its expanded membership, BRICS Plus now represents nearly half of the world's population, billions of people whose voices are increasingly shaping the global agenda. Economically, the bloc wields enormous power, accounting for over a third of global GDP and purchasing power parity, and its share is only expected to grow as emerging economies continue to rise. Nowhere is BRICS' influence more visible than in the energy sector. The bloc collectively controls more than 30% of global oil output, making it a central player in the world's energy markets. With major OPEC Plus producers like Saudi Arabia and Iran now inside the BRICS tent, the group's ability to shape energy policy and prices has never been greater. This concentration of energy power gives BRICS immense leverage over global prices and supply chains, unsettling European capitals and raising urgent questions about energy security. For Europe, still reeling from its energy break with Russia, the rise of a coordinated bloc of major producers presents a strategic dilemma that is both economic and political in nature. But BRICS is about more than just resources or economics. It's a bold declaration that the era of unipolar dominance is ending, and a multipolar world is taking shape. These nations are working together to build an alternative framework for international cooperation, one that seeks to rebalance power and give greater voice to the global South. Their vision is for a system that reflects their own interests, values, and priorities, challenging the norms set by Western institutions for decades. For Europe, this is both a challenge to its influence and a call for deep introspection about its role in a rapidly changing world. The old certainties are fading away. In their place, a new, unpredictable world order is emerging, one where power is more widely distributed, and the future is anything but certain. To understand Europe's dilemma in today's shifting global landscape, we must first grasp what BRICS is, and just as importantly, what it isn't. BRICS is not a military alliance, nor is it a tightly integrated political or economic union like the European Union. Instead, it's a flexible and evolving platform where emerging powers come together to amplify their collective voice on the world stage. The group's main purpose is to challenge and reform global governance structures that for decades have reflected a Western-centric order. BRICS seeks to give a greater say to countries outside the traditional power centers, pushing for a more multipolar world. The recent expansion, welcoming Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Indonesia, has transformed BRICS into a true heavyweight, both demographically and economically. The bloc now includes pivotal players from the Arab world, Africa, and Asia, representing a vast portion of the world's population and resources. It's no surprise that countries like Turkey, Serbia, and Hungary are expressing interest in joining, seeing BRICS as a platform for new opportunities. For many, BRICS offers an alternative to Western orthodoxy, allowing nations to pursue economic growth and cooperation without the political strings often attached to Western-led institutions. Its agenda is broad and ambitious, spanning finance, trade, technology, climate change, and even cultural exchange. The group is building its own institutional ecosystem, including new financial mechanisms designed to bypass the US dollar and reduce dependence on Western banking systems. For its members, BRICS is a vehicle for strategic autonomy, a way to balance against US and European influence and to shape the rules of the global game. This is the new reality confronting European policymakers, who must now navigate a world where power is more widely distributed. The world's rules are no longer written in just Washington or Brussels. They are being debated and shaped in capitals across the global South, signaling a profound shift in international affairs. BRICS' appeal is both economic and political. For many in the global South, it's a path to development without Western conditions. The new development bank offers loans for infrastructure, no lectures on governance required. Membership brings prestige and a seat at the global table, allowing countries to diversify alliances. For sanctioned states like Russia and Iran, BRICS is a lifeline, an economic and diplomatic safe harbor. Even traditional U.S. allies like the UAE and Saudi Arabia are deepening ties, seeking economic diversification and strategic flexibility. This pragmatic multipolar approach is the new normal in global diplomacy. The queue to join BRICS keeps growing, complicating Europe's foreign policy landscape. The Ukraine war shattered Europe's assumptions about security and energy. Suddenly, the continent found itself facing a crisis that went far beyond the battlefield. The conflict exposed just how deeply Europe's prosperity and stability were tied to the flow of Russian gas and oil, a dependence that had been quietly growing for decades. Europe's reliance on Russian gas became a vulnerability overnight, forcing a scramble for alternatives. Governments rushed to secure new energy deals, importing liquefied natural gas from the US, Qatar, and beyond. Energy prices soared, and ordinary citizens felt the impact in their homes and businesses. As Europe imposed sanctions, Russia redirected energy to China and India. Fellow BRICS members, reshaping global energy flows. Pipelines and shipping routes shifted eastward, and new long-term contracts were signed, signaling a lasting change in the world's energy map. China and India emerged as central players, buying discounted Russian oil and even exporting refined products back to Europe. This new dynamic gave them unprecedented influence over global energy markets, while also providing Russia with vital economic lifelines. BRICS now includes both major producers and consumers, creating a self-contained energy ecosystem. The group's growing economic and political clout is challenging the dominance of Western-led institutions in ways not seen before. Coordination with OPEC Plus has further reduced Europe's leverage, making it a price taker in global markets. Oil and gas prices are increasingly set by decisions made in Moscow, Riyadh, and Beijing, not Brussels or Washington. The war also exposed a divide. While the West rallied against Russia, much of the global South remained ambivalent, refusing to take sides. Many countries prioritized their own economic interests, seeking affordable energy and new partnerships. This diplomatic reality signals a world no longer united under Western leadership. Instead, a multipolar order is emerging, where influence is shared and alliances are constantly shifting. With US foreign policy uncertain, Europe must reassess its partnerships. The continent is now looking both east and south, seeking new allies and energy suppliers to secure its future. The rise of BRICS is forcing a pragmatic shift in European strategy. Old assumptions are being questioned, and new strategies are being urgently developed. The old energy order is gone, a new one is taking shape. Europe's future now depends on how quickly it can adapt to this transformed landscape, and whether it can build resilience in a world where energy and power are more contested than ever. Europe's climate leadership is under challenge from BRICS. The EU's carbon border adjustment mechanism faces a coordinated response. BRICS is building its own carbon markets. At recent summits, BRICS launched a partnership on carbon markets, aiming to create an integrated system under the Paris Agreement. By 2025, BRICS members accounted for over a third of global carbon credit trading. Their approach could fragment the global climate regime, with different rules and standards from Brussels. BRICS wants to finance its green transition on its own terms, not Europe's. If successful, the bloc could become a standard setter, forcing Europe to negotiate rather than dictate. The rules for the green economy are now up for grabs. BRICS is building a parallel institutional framework to the Western-led order. The new development bank and the contingent reserve arrangement offer alternatives to the World Bank and IMF, without Western conditions. De-dollarization is accelerating. More trade is settled in yuan, rupees, and rubles, reducing exposure to US sanctions. The bloc is exploring new payment systems and even a common currency. This challenges the global economic governance Europe helped shape. If the move away from the dollar continues, it could reshape global finance and trade. For Europe, this means adapting to a fragmented financial landscape. The unipolar economic order is fading fast. BRICS is no monolith. Its members have divergent interests and priorities. China and Russia push for a direct counterweight to US power, driving de-dollarization and alternative institutions. India and Brazil seek strategic autonomy, wary of a China-dominated or anti-Western bloc. New members like the UAE and Saudi Arabia are pragmatic, hedging bets between East and West. Many pursue multi-aligned foreign policies, not anti-American crusades. This diversity means BRICS cooperation is often broad, but shallow. Consensus on general principles is easy. Agreement on specifics is much harder. The bloc's internal complexity limits its depth, but also broadens its appeal. BRICS' rise has forced Europe to rethink its global role. the continent faces new vulnerabilities: energy, security, and shifting alliances. With the US less predictable, Europe seeks greater autonomy and new partnerships. Even countries like Turkey and Hungary are exploring BRICS ties, challenging EU unity. Europe must now engage with BRICS, including rivals like Russia and Iran, to stay relevant. The future will be defined by multiple power centers and overlapping interests. Europe's challenge: balance its values and alliances while pragmatically engaging with BRICS. The era of comfortable certainties is over. Complex coexistence is the new normal.